Hey, this is Alex Head, founder of Subtext Radio.
This is Subtext.
Please go ahead and click the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps us to reach new audiences and promote the artists that we work with. Hit like and hit subscribe.
Hello and welcome to Text Subtext.
Phase 2. To live in an idea about living is wealth not measured in money. Volume 5, the ZKU Residency. Commissioned for ZKU, Centre for Art and Urbanistics. In this episode, we elaborate upon the structural, productive and creative dynamics of the ZKU Residency as they relate to the ever-shifting community of residents buckling down to their work. For now, projects like Text Subtext with Lotte Schaefer and Raphael Polo are an attempt to reach an audience that is also permanently in flux. It's an interesting problem when you think about it, the collected impressions of an institution and a city at large, which come to form an overall impression and memory within the viewer. Specifically, the Magic Carpet project is there to find ways in which the residency can document itself. So, looking for people with experience with online and offline mediation. People who are interested in analogue forms of documentation and experimental platforms. And that's how I came into touch with Sven Sorić.
Yes, actually our project here is trying to create a method of archiving each resident's creative process. Everybody gets one A4 paper, then we staple them together. And the idea is there's two faces of the paper. We call them the soft side and the hard side. The soft side would be something like a very, very personal way of archiving your work, like through sketches, some kind of impressions, writing by hand, or. So when we would staple it together into a small booklet, then at the beginning you would have like all the soft sides first, so you could see like everybody would have a page with a sketch or a photo or something, some kind of visual material. Then every other page would be the personal description of the process and everything, and in the end you would have the hard data about what was happening. And by publishing such zines like every 2 weeks or every week, an archive would be created automatically. As we have our duties around the open house, cooking, cleaning and everything, I think if archiving is an important thing for ZKO, that each 2 weeks a resident should be a guest editor.
Yeah. Each Monday evening, the residency at ZKU offers an audience for residents to present their work and what they might pursue in the context of their time at that institution. We caught up with Woon Young Ya's work that deals with migrations and estrangement within capitalism during the Monday evening presentation.
She was born Northeast China. She had a dream. She wanted to go to Shanghai because there are many jobs. Now she lives in Hong Kong and Japan. So this is the geography of the immigrant. So I thinking about the city. What is the development? What is development? I'm thinking very deeply. So now I am here for research in Berlin. Berlin is very interesting for me. There are many strange persons see me.
This kind of personal development and urban development. You have these narratives with these lives that are developing. At the moment you're using the typewriter as well.
Yeah, I'm using a typewriter because somehow I think of when I was talking to Lotta, who's helping us with this project, she said like every time they sent forms or Google documents or sheets for people to fill in, they would either not do it or do it not thorough enough or something, because you can do it any time, then you start forgetting about it. But in the beginning of the functioning of the ZKO, they used paper, printed out forms, and people filled the forms in by hand, and the reports were more thorough.
The instrument that makes it possible for people to connect.
You're really not all that because you're this brilliant, great artist, whatever. You have to do these things to make this place work.
Each piece of that organ.
Being there for just a month doesn't really provide you with the possibility to really engage with the crew and see what the projects are.
Quite often it's happened that our artists are trying to kind of work with a topic of neighborhood or community.
And also I like the recording as it is, because you can kind of, save to your memory, and you can play it again, and you can kind of distort it.
I think a lot still depends on the artist. You can't cut out the hard work, you can't cut out the going out there to make your own connections, and then ZKU connects those dots.
The more ZKU grows, the more pertinent it becomes for us to deal with the question of independence of the residency program and its interdependent relation to ZKU's projects and research. ZKU is a space for artistic and knowledge production. The residency has its own mode of production that is based on a limited amount of time and knowledge on how Berlin works. ZKU's mode of production, on the other hand, is based on the practice of Kunstrepublik, the artist collective running it. Most 15 team members, with backgrounds in arts, architecture, social sciences and cultural management, have through project funding the ability to work on themes around the city in long-term socio-political projects. These different basic conditions sometimes create potential for conflict. Our challenge is to connect the global discourses and specific findings of the residents to the local practices and projects of ZKU, as well as creating conditions for the recording of the knowledge produced by everyone in order to share it with future residents and partners.
I guess the thing that I see is how it scales up. How, over what time period is this as a system, is it designed? Is it 10 years? Because once you get to a certain point, I guess it's like anything, you just have so much information, it becomes harder to navigate and find what you need. Or
yeah, the navigation through the archive is one of our tasks. Also, we should also make a method of interconnecting other people's works in different time and space. So we should do something what could be called an analogue tag cloud. So if you're interested in a certain topic, you can take a look at the tag cloud and see James in 2013 was also dealing with the topic of archiving, so I'm gonna find the zines from 2013 and read all about it.
my feeling is you have the day-to-day life and that question of how you're going to reproduce what you need, how you're going to get your content made, who you're going to reach, and how you're going to reach them. But then, of course, from the perspective of the residency and the perspective of the institution, you have a wider arc, a longer period. Who are you going to be having next year in the residency? What are they going to tell to the wider artistic community? And ultimately, how can you support both interests at the same time? These are difficult questions that ZKU is still just working out how to answer. But surely it's an experimental platform like ZKU that is best equipped to begin asking questions about the meaning of residency, life, and the day-to-day reproduction of labour itself. Does it matter if the reader understands the relationship between A and B?
The reader should understand the relationship. We would use different color papers, like 2 colors for each zine, just to maintain some readability while the people leaf through the zines. For example, like you have one project on a white page, the other project on a yellow page, and so on, so on. Even though I think we would write at least the number of the person's studio somewhere on the page.
We hope we have more for you, dear listener, in the future. Stay tuned to Subtext and be sure to check out Text Subtext, supported by the Magic Carpet and Creative Europe.